Hi guys, Frederick again with something new for you. This time I'm going to take you to Sri Lanka. Right, when I say take you to Sri Lanka, I'm not going to fly you to Sri Lanka, but I'm going to try something which is very Sri Lankan. This particular thing that I'm making is found in every other part of the world too, with different names, but today I'm going to show you the Sri Lankan name and the Sri Lankan theme of this. It's going to be the Kottu Roti that I'm going to show you, right? Which Sri Lankans are very famous for now. So Kottu Roti is a process where we have to make the roti first, cool it down, and then cook it up with some vegetables and any type of meat filling or chicken filling that you want to put. So if you're ready to fly to Sri Lanka and see the Kottu Roti, please come with me. I go on. First of all, I would like to remind you that I'm always a person who wants food safety to be observed or food safety to be followed. So wash your hands before you start anything, and also occupational health and safety. Be safe in your workplace because we will be dealing with a lot of fire and stove. So be safe from those areas. Saying all that, I'm just going to go through the ingredients that I'm going to use for my roti. You got 250 grams of plain flour. Alright, I got 150 mils to 200 mils. So I've got 200 mils of water, but I might use only 150 depending on the consistency of the dough. So I have kept 200 here, but I'll be using 150 in case we need more. We might be able to put, but hopefully we should be good with 150 mils. Then I got 10 mils of vegetable oil and 5 grams of salt. Right, so to start, I've got my plain flour in a nice bowl, silver bowl, alright, and I'm adding my 5 grams of salt into the dough, right, and then I'm adding my 10 mils of oil into the dough, right, and then I'm going to add my 150 mils of water, which I'm not going to put all the water in, and I'm going to mix it by hand. If you do have a mixing machine at home, please use it, right? But if you do not have, you can always mix it by hand. It looks like the consistency is not there as yet, so I'm going to add a little more water. So I would say another 25 mils, which will take us to 175 mils of water. Got the dough nice and smooth, right, silky, looks very nice. And another way of checking the dough is, I'll show you a trick, a baker's trick, where you take a small piece of dough, start stretching it from the middle like this. So you keep on stretching, and if it's not going to crack from the middle, right, see that, if that's all good there, all right, that means your dough is developed perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it now, right? And I'm going to rest the dough before we start rolling the dough. So scaling the dough, I would always stick to about 30 to 35 grams, depending on the pan that you have at home to cook your bread. I know in the street foods and all those places, they have those big stoves and tawas where you can have 60 grams or 70 gram doughs, but at home we'll have the normal standard pan. Right, so I would suggest 30 to 35 grams of dough should be perfectly. If you're going to scale it out, that's about 35 grams. All right, so I have taken 35 grams there. If you want to use the scale, you can use the scale, and so it definitely we should come to this amount. And I'm going to place it in a plastic bowl where it's been filled with a little oil. With this particular dough, we should have about 6 nice size kodamba rotis that can be prepared. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to keep this to rest, right? So I'm putting a little oil on top of the dough pieces. the dough doesn't dry, keeps the moisture. There's nice oil in that. I'm going to cover it. Alright, and remember guys, once you keep it to rest, you need to at least minimum 1.5 hours that you need to rest the dough. 1 to 1.5 hours needs to be rested. The more you rest, the better quality of bread you will get, or the roti you will get. Right, it's been a long time, 1.5 hours gone. So I think our dough is ready now for putting it on the pan. I got my pan ready on the stove now. Well, rolling out this roti dough is a bit of a tricky thing. We need to roll it out to very thin layer. So that is the reason that I always say that we need to rest it for at least 1.5 hours or 1 to 1.5 hours, because the more you rest, the dough is going to stretch without any issues. So when we are going to stretch the dough on the bench, we always apply a little oil on the bench so that it doesn't stick to the bench. Alright, and press the dough on the bench, and with your hands you can do this. I know there are people who with a lot of techniques on how you do a flying pizza and things like that. They utilize the same techniques to get the godamba roti also to a thin layer, but I know that we can always roll it in a thin thing. So I'm just doing it with my hands. So what they usually do in a Kottu Roti place back in Sri Lanka on the streets, they take the dough and they throw it like that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just stretching it out with my hands, right? If there's enough oil on the bench, it won't stick on the bench. And then you can see, you have to stretch it out the dough till you can see your palm from one side. See if you can see the finger like that. That's the thinness we need. Now guys, on the first roti that I'm going to make you, I'm going to make an egg roti for you before I could go into a Kottu Roti. So before you put the roti, make sure you oil the pan a little, right? The pan has to be nice and warm, right? Not too hot, right? Just medium heat, nice, but to make sure the pan is preheated, and then your roti goes into the pan. While the roti is on the pan, I'm going to just break an egg inside. So I'm breaking the egg here, right? And just going to put some salt on top and a little pepper, and then break that egg, right? And then I'm going to fold it. So the folding is done that way, then the next corner comes this way, and then this goes up and that comes down, right? And then so till the egg is getting cooked, it will be on a square shape. You can use a tongue if you want to turn the roti, but that's what I said, don't burn your fingers. Right, see, it's nice and brown from one side, and I've turned it to the other side, and then you should be getting your egg roti out in a few minutes. So your egg roti is done. Right, that's how you can do your egg roti. Do the same process. Right, stretching my dough. And I'm not going to fold this. Again guys, if you are planning to do some things with chicken or meat or something like that, you can place it in the middle and then cover it like how I did the egg roti. But if it's for a Kottu Roti, we just need plain roti, so I'm just going to do some plain roti here, right, and then use it for the Kottu Roti. I just turn the sides, right. So that's my plain roti that has come out, right, and I'm going to use that. So we are going to make about 5 plain rotis, because we got 6, so out of 6 1 egg roti, 5 plain rotis for our kottus. Alright guys, so we come to the next stage of this kottu roti. So we have done our rotis. Rotis are all good. Looks beautiful. Alright, so we got nice 5 rotis here. So we are going to do chicken kottu. So I got some nice chicken curry, Sri Lankan style, spicy, lot of curry in it, because we need a lot of curry because kottu is going to cook in that curry. So we have chicken into that and some nice gravy in that. And then I'm going to use 10 grams of curry leaf. Anybody does not know what is curry leaf? That's curry leaf, guys. The authentic thing for Asian cooking, especially the South Asian cooking. Everybody uses curry leaf. I'm going to use another 10 grams of nicely finely chopped green chilies, which is also going to be very spicy. Alright, then I'll be using 100 grams of leeks. Alright, and then I'll be using 100 grams of cabbage, nicely chopped. Right, I'll be using 100 grams of carrots, which is also nicely cut into pieces. I got 100 grams onions. You can put a little more if you like. I got 100 grams here. I'll be using 2 eggs because it's chicken kottu. Now with the lamb kottu, or if you're doing beef kottu or something, I don't think you need to add eggs. It's only because it's chicken that I'm adding the eggs. Right, so I have got the ingredients here. Right, and I've got a nice scissor because we need to cut this roti into very small thin strings. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to cook it in a pan. So I got my 5 rotis here, plain rotis. Right, so I'm going to have it together. Right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this out into more like a roll. So I was just rolling it out. Right. Rolling it out, and then after I roll it, I take my scissor. The scissor has to be food friendly, clean, and then I'm just going to cut it. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm just cutting it into thin strips, which will be coming handy in making our kottu. Alright guys, I have cut these kottus into nice thin strips. Alright, we're going to use this. So if you see, it has to be nice and thin. So number 1, we're just going to oil the pan with some vegetable oil, and then I will start cooking my vegetables first, and then we'll be adding the rest of the things in a process. Pan's here, adding a little oil into that. Oil's ready. First thing goes in, onions. Just going to slightly cook the onions. And I'm going to put my carrot in. Carrot goes in, with my leeks, and then my cabbage. Just give it a bit of a stir. I'm not going to put any salt or chili because the chicken curry by itself is pretty spicy, so we don't want it to have too spicy. I know the Sri Lankans love it very spicy, but for the people who are watching from other destinations, you can always add your spice if you like spicy. Otherwise, the spice that I have put on the chicken curry should be perfect. Now, you might be asking a question, how to make a chicken curry. Guys who have not made a chicken curry, I'm planning to come with another video on showing you how to make a chicken curry. So look forward for that video too. But if not, before that, if you want to try kottu roti, you might be able to Google some recipes for chicken curry. So while this is cooking, I'm going to add my 10 grams of curry leaves, right, and my 10 grams of green chili, so which is also going to give a bit of a spice. So the aroma here is stunning, I would say. It's just makes everybody hungry. So that's the aroma you should be getting while you're cooking. When that chili cooks, the onion cooks, it's a beautiful aroma. Now at this stage, I'm going to add my egg. All right. So you can see all the vegetables cooking now and the eggs getting mixed into this. The aroma is just kicking its way outside, so it's pretty good. Alright, so at this stage, I'm going to add my chicken curry. That goes the chicken curry into it. Try to keep the moisture, guys. Don't dry it too much, because some places they serve this kottu very dry. I prefer to have the kottu a little moist, so that's the reason that I don't. I add these curries with the meat. Some people only add the meat, but with the curry, when you add it, it gives you a better flavor, as well as it also keeps your kottu moist. And the last thing that we add is our main ingredient, which is the kottu, which is the godamba roti. Going to make that noise that everybody talks about. Oh, kottu means a noise. That noise is definitely going to come with these two weapons, which is a steel dough cutter and a nice spoon. Hold one, and other one I'm going to just bash it. Alright guys, done. Alright, so I'm going to put it on the plate. Here's the lovely chicken kottu that I promised you. It's super beautiful, nice aroma, right? So you'll enjoy it for a lunch or a dinner. Hope you will enjoy this kottu, and subscribe for me if you enjoyed this video. If you do have any comments, put it down on my YouTube channel. And till I see you on the next video with some other Sri Lankan stuff, bye for now.